New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this, and that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You have to forgive my appearance, it's still a bit early where I am at. So I've been noticing that, hey, someone's got a few Canadian hostages. I'd say good job, but it's not hard to catch a fucking journalist. Most of the time they're looking for you anyway. So, alright, so you got a few Canadian hostages. What are you going to do with them? Oh, that's right, you said that we had 1 month to respond to your demands, or you're going to kill them. Thing about Canada, you know, when people like us go to your side of the world, strong possibility we're not afraid to die. Being not afraid to die isn't a Islamist or extremist Muslims only trait. We can show that too. You know, people, oh, the jihadist Muslim. No, come on, guys. It's so crazy, you know a white person had to invent it, okay? We were amongst some of the firsts to do fucking suicide bombs. You pull the pin in the grenade and jump into the foxhole of the enemy. 1 soldier down, 5 or 6 enemy soldiers down. That math worked. All right, boys, let's do this a little bit more often. So, whatever. But hey, so you got a few Canadian hostages. It's important for the hostage keepers, the takers, those who are maintaining these amazing Canadian soldiers. And yeah, they're soldiers now. They were journalists when they arrived, and now they're hostages. I'll call them soldiers. I'll live the rest of my life feeling okay about that. So we got them over there. We got to remember, the last time a Trudeau had to deal with a hostage situation, didn't end well for the hostage keeper. And guess what? We even lost a hostage in the transaction. It's a real life situation, guys. There's a strong possibility that these 2 Canadians, and from what I understand, it's 3 individuals as a whole. So let's not ignore that third person that just doesn't happen to be Canadian, or maybe they are, and we just don't know yet. So there's 3 hostages over there. Okay? It's a very real world situation right now. Saying it all the time. Here we are sitting on our fucking chairs and blabbing at the internet when there's literally blood on the streets out there, guys. But now, it's our blood. See, it always used to just be the Americans' blood, and apparently people didn't care about that. Or it was always just the Syrians' blood, so people didn't care about that either. And all of a sudden, it's Canadian blood. And you think people are going to care about it now all of a sudden? Come on. It's a fucking war. People die. People get themselves in some fucked up situations. Do I think that these people deserve to die? Absolutely not. Do I know that they're going to die? Most likely. Most likely. But here's the problem. I've seen some people pop around and say, oh, it's all a show. They're all crisis actors. I'm beginning to realize that, you know what? False flag attacks don't always come with actors. Sometimes you actually have to kill the people. No acting involved, but you still get the same result that you were looking for. So let's stop going right away and saying that these events always come with crisis actors, because they may not be crisis actors, they may legitimately be hostages and they're about to get fucked up. But what do we stand to gain on this? What does the terrorist, what does whoever the group over there stand to gain? Do they honestly think Canada is going to do something in their benefit? They must see, this is where history is a benefit, right? The atomic bomb was dropped by the Americans on Japan in World War II. It's fair to say that the Americans have a fair amount of blood on their hands. They don't really want to be doing that again. Sure, the weapon exists. It means nothing. It's still holstered. It takes a substantial set of cojones to push that button. We're talking billions of lives, millions of lives, depending on what caliber weapon is dislodged. The Americans don't want that kind of hate. That kind of hate to come on the American country right now would be entirely too much, especially with the Trump rhetoric coming around. And I said it before, it's going to be a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump election, don't worry. I honestly think that Donald Trump is put there as the scapegoat to fail. You know, if you want somebody better than Donald Trump, shit, you're going to have to vote for Clinton now, aren't you? Come on now, guys. Stay with me on this. Think it all the way through. So Donald Trump and his rhetoric, he's going to be the next president. That only makes sense if it's banking cartels and oil tycoons and business tycoons and all these people run the world. It only makes sense to put a person like Donald Trump behind the wheel for at least the next 8 years to kind of balance out the books, because war costs money. No matter what we want to say about it, it costs money. So you're going to need somebody to manage those books. So Donald Trump's probably winning this one. So then there's that. If you don't want Donald Trump, you got Hillary Clinton, but she's not afraid to push the button, and she's already made that very clear. So you're going to either prolong the war and fund it for a bit and make more money off of it as a nation, or you're going to escalate it. That's the thing. That's the democratic vote that your country is offered right now. Prolong it and make a few more bucks off of it, which is the American way, or escalate it. Well, the best escalation available out there is a well-funded, well-publicized attack on the great country of Canada. Why? Well, see, that guy that ran up into the Parliament building with the shotgun didn't quite get the results they were needing. It just didn't work. So, we have to escalate. Now, we don't go dropping bombs, we don't start blowing up our own buildings, but we take a few hostages on the other side of the ocean. That's a great escalation. Because if these 3 hostages die next month, the extremist, the terrorist, call it whatever you want to call it, if those 3 people die next month, they'll be facing a different Canada. Now, here's something that Canada has, but the United States doesn't. We only have 35 million people in our country. Some of your cities hold hundreds of millions. Our entire country has 35 million people. When the moral outrage breaks out in Canada, you only got to convince 35 million people that, hey, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. We're just going to turn the entire Middle East into glass. Is everybody okay with that? Yeah, we just lost 2 journalists, and you know what? We're not playing this game anymore, so I'm just going to go into the office, I'm going to do a few things, and I'm just going to hit the button, and we're going to call it a day. You only have to convince 35 million people, and of those 35 million people, there's a great majority of them that are children that have no say. So let's bring that up to 20 million adults. You gotta get 20 million adults that are my age, around 33 and up. We've all seen the 2 towers. We don't live in the United States, so we have the privilege of realizing that, hey, that might have been an inside job to start this war. Guys, do we want to finish this? Like, has enough innocents died yet? Like, can we call it a day? Yeah, I think the Americans have made enough money on this war. I think we should end it. So if you kill these 3 Canadians, and you know what? I'll call that third person a Canadian, even if I don't know what they are. You kill those 3 Canadians, because right now they're sharing a bunk. They're sharing airtime. They're all hostages. So you know what? You kill those 3 Canadians, and I can't guarantee it. Justin Trudeau is a young man. He is not going to want to fight this war for the next 20 goddamn years. I just can't see him wanting to do it. I can see him preparing for the next war. I can see him finding the next opportunities within the next war. I'm not an idiot either. I just don't think he wants this one to keep going any longer. This wasn't our war. There's no great stands that help Canada. It's been said at the beginning, if you weren't with Bush in the beginning, you can't even be part of the people who did the contracts to rebuild countries. Because that's what we do, guys. That's a North American continent for you. We go, we find, we say, oh, look, pretty. We blow it the fuck up, and then we rebuild it into something that we think is prettier. But hey, that's just a small history lesson for you. But be all, end all, get some hostages, get a young prime minister in there. I don't know if Trudeau's going to want to demonstrate his diplomatic powers or if he's going to want to flex his muscle. In either direction, at this point in the game, I don't care. I don't care. If Justin Trudeau turns around and says, oh, so you just killed 3 Canadians because I didn't respond to you fast enough? Okay, here, you have 24 hours to cease and desist or I'm nuking you. And you know what? I strongly, strongly believe that we should do exact same thing as Russia did. Do you know why Russia does not have terrorist problems in Russia? I'll tell you why. Russia said straight out, if you attack one thing in the great country of Russia, I will nuke Mecca. Plain and simple. If you touch those Canadians in your country, I may very well make it my personal mission to destroy something that you love. Plain and simple. You want to go to war? You want to go to war? Let's go to war. There's 300,000 of you coming to my country. You want to go to war? Let's go to war. But I don't think you want to. I think you've thought about going to war. I think you've thoroughly thought about it. But I don't think you want to go to war. Sure, there's bombs landing over there, right? There's bombs. I get it. There's a lot of bombs flying out there. There's a lot of women and children that need a place to hide. A lot of men that said, I don't want any part of this war. Men just like me. I don't want any part of this war. No point. But I'm not afraid to finish it either. I'm not afraid to say, hey, too many people have fucking died. What's a few thousand more as long as not another soul has to die? See, I'm twisted as a fucking motherfucker. What, 3 million people died? Alright, kill another million. Hopefully then we don't have to kill anybody anymore. But the problem is that I don't play games. That's why I'm not the leader of the country. That's why I don't make military decisions. I'd have nuked the entire Middle East. I would have been no bias. I wouldn't have cared. Men, women, children, the entire fucking snot deal of it all. I would have nuked it September 12th. That's what would have happened there. I'd have been... Fuck it. You want to go to war? No problem. Oh, a couple of planes came through and smashed into him. Okay. Good shot. No problem. I'd have nuked it the next day. Turned the whole goddamn Middle East into glass. But we didn't do that because it wasn't a war of defense. It wasn't a war of what the hell do you think you're doing? Look at what you did. Now I have to do this. No. It became a war of us throwing rocks at a sandcastle. And that war, no. I don't want a part of that. I don't want my young men, women, and children that have to go into these fucking situations. And yeah, children. How old are those soldiers that go out there now? What, 19? Yeah, fucking children. Okay, I don't want them out there having to kick in fucking doors and have to shoot these people. I thought we invented these weapons so these things didn't have to happen. Post-traumatic stress disorder. What do you think brings that on? How about the fact that you know full well that you're going to have to shoot inside of a home where there's women and children in it and you don't want to fucking do it. But your commanding officer says, orders, we need to do these things. And you're trying to figure out where post-traumatic stress syndrome comes from? Come on now, guys. War isn't fun. Not a goddamn thing about it's fun. Ask any police officer. Breaking into a drug dealer's house isn't fun. You're telling me going after the enemy on the other side of the world in a different country with a language you don't understand, with weapons that you really hope don't jam, is fun? No. I thought we invented these weapons so we didn't have to do that anymore. So yeah, you wanted to go to war? You knock a few buildings down, go ahead. We're just going to hit a button. And you're just going to go boom. Because 3 Canadians, 1 Canadian is the entire country to us. And I don't know what you guys are thinking. I understand, and you know what? It's probably really unsympathetic and probably very rude. I understand why the Americans have a harder time with this part, because it's like I said, 35 million in the entire country. You guys have 34 times that in a city. It's hard to stay personal with your boys. It's hard to stay close with your fam when you're talking an entire country that has millions and billions of people in it. But 35 million people for a whole nation, the second largest landmass in the world. Yeah, we're all family up here. We're all family. We don't need to know your name. You could have just immigrated here. I got Syrian families that have immigrated to my little ass city of Moncton, Canada. Here, Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. Oh yeah, they stopped on by. I was working at a restaurant not too long ago, working at the cash. Family comes up, orders everything. I knew they were Syrian. They didn't look Canadian. I wasn't an idiot. The English and the French were both a little broken. And you know what? They understand 3 motherfucking languages. That's how much they wanted to move here. They know French, English, and Arabic, the languages that they speak at home. And he came up and ordered, and he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. He's trying to be very polite to me, like he owed me something." And I was like, "Don't even worry about it, boss. Enjoy the rest of the day." He's like, "This is the easy part." And he says, "Well, not for all of us." He's like, and I looked at him, I was like, "You guys just landed here, didn't you?" He shook his head, he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, welcome home, bro. Don't even worry about it. Just go enjoy your meal." If I had the authority and the power, I'd just give him his meal for free. Just really fucking go enjoy. Welcome home. That's what this country is. That's what this country's always been. Oh, is there going to be a few rotten eggs who got slipped through the cracks? Oh, you're damn right there's going to be. We're taking in another 305,000 refugees before the beginning of 2017. You're guaranteed something is slipping through the cracks. But do I care? No. No. We got organized crime. We got drugs on the street. We got murder all over the place. What's a few extra criminals in Canada? Really? What, I'm going to get 1,000? 1,000, maybe. 1,000 stupid people, and we get to rescue over 205,000 others? Give me 1,000 stupid people. We're good. You know why? Because we got gangs. We got police. We got stupid people. We got fucking crazy people. That shit will thin itself out as time goes on. Don't be so motherfucking racist. Just get over it. They're coming. Doors wide open. Do you know why this might be happening? I'll give you a false flag theory for you. Maybe, just maybe, someone doesn't like the fact that Canada's bringing in 300,000 refugees. Maybe someone on the other side, or maybe just next door, is not a big fan of the idea. So maybe in hopes of closing down those doors, we're just going to kill 3 Canadians. It's only 3 lives. It's only 3 lives. If we could take these 3 lives, we could close the door, and no more refugees will come to the North American continent. I'm just saying, you have to look at the war all the way through, not just pieces of it. Alright, guys? Well, that's me. Enjoy.